Chapter 16. A host given him by reason of transgression. As we had mentioned, the place of Satan's sanctuary was cast to the ground. There was no more place for his ideas in heaven. The enmity manifested in sacrifices was dealt a huge blow, and with the spread of Christianity, many nations abandoned the use of such sacrifices. But through his cunning, Satan continued the fight by moving into the transgression of desolation.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Daniel 8, verse 12, KJV.
As Christianity began to spread like a mighty rider on a white horse, Satan infiltrated the movement through his false justice system. By judging and condemning those who held false doctrines, the church lost its first love. See Revelation 2, verse 4. The sacrifice of Christ was transformed to be understood as Christ being smitten of God and afflicted. So although Satan's pagan system of sacrifices was mortally wounded, through the Roman power Satan would introduce something more sinister, the abomination that makes desolate.
And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. Daniel 11, verse 31.
As we have mentioned, the place of Satan's sanctuary was cast to the ground. There was no more place for his ideas in heaven. The enmity manifested in sacrifices was dealt a huge blow, and with the spread of Christianity, many nations abandoned the use of such sacrifices. But through his cunning, Satan continued the fight by modifying his sacrificial appeasement system of paganism into the more sophisticated Christian appeasement system of the transgression of desolation. Satan, as a master of deception, infiltrates the Christian movement and acts the part of the agent to remove paganism through Christianity, when in reality he is using the Hegelian principle of synthesizing two opposing principles to bring minds into a new understanding, his understanding. Through this process, Satan brought paganism into Christianity while appearing to destroy it. But it was Christianity which was deposed and paganism which was lifted up. At the heart of the abomination that makes desolate is Satan's justice system of requiring every transgression to be punished.
The condemning power of Satan would lead him to institute a theory of justice inconsistent with mercy. He claims to be officiating as the voice and power of God, claims that his decisions are justice, are pure and without fault. Thus he takes his position on the judgment seat and declares that his counsels are infallible. Here his merciless justice comes in, a counterfeit of justice, abhorrent to God. Christ Triumphant, page 11.4.
As we previously noted, Satan's merciless justice is abhorrent to God. It is an abomination to God. Satan's merciless justice is the engine room of Satan's abomination that makes desolate. Millions perished in the Roman Inquisition, sentenced to death for refusing her doctrines. Rome used the power of the state to enforce her teachings. She nurtured the doctrine of satisfaction for justice through blood appeasement, which her daughters developed into penal substitution.
Footnote 7. See the book Atonement, available at maranathamedia.com.
The principle of sacrificial appeasement developed in paganism was lifted up into the medieval church to cause a desolating power to destroy human hearts. How? By giving them wrong ideas of God, which meant that they could not receive of his love and care, as they saw him as full of wrath and wanting blood. It was such an abomination to God to see his children prevented from coming into the light of his true character. All of this was a continuation of the enmity or indignation which Satan had for Christ manifested continually throughout human history. The little horn of the goat, Satan, would continue to dominate the ram, Christ, through his merciless justice system until the end of the 2,300 years, when the final movement would commence to remove the indignation, slaying the enmity through a correct understanding of the everlasting gospel.